Wait, doesn't Blue Archive like have they ban like loli stuff in their community, right?
I'm not sure if they do, but like my personal issue with Blue Archive is like all of the characters look like they are mega old. Like they barely have any actual lolis in the game. It's just all of them are canonically underage. Like they have an 11-year-old in the game.
What the?
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of what usually happens. What?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I get it. You know, it's Korea, it's Japan. I get why they do that. It increases their sales. But like, personally, it's weird to me that they're not loli the body type. They're like canonically underage. That's just me.
Yeah, that's weird. Loli is a body type. Lolita is a clothing. Gothic Lolita, etc. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's
yeah.
I'm not gonna get into. Fucking yeah, not applicable.
Got Loli really cute though, and it's also like even if I feel weird about the Blue Archive characters being canonically underage, they're still just pixels. Like it's not.
Yeah, I personally don't care.
Yeah, like I just don't give a.
It's fictional. Who the fuck cares? Like I don't understand the whole debate about it. It's just whatever. Wait, Nux is against loli stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I thought he posted loli stuff. What?
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird when Nux said something against lolis and equating them to pedos.
What the f? What the f? Am I misremembering?
No. Nux actually followed me recently too, and I was like, what the f what did I do?
I could have swore he used to because he used to make like anime videos on YouTube and stuff. I thought he used to do all kinds of loli stuff. What?
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Yeah, he edited his older thumbnails that had loli stuff in it and took them out.
What the?
Content are pedos or should be on a watch list or put to jail or anything like that.
People don't realize archives exist.
I featured a small clip from their Some Ordinary
If I delete it, it's gone. Don't worry.
That has a very hypocritical. It's wild.
I like a good cartel execution video.
I sit over there, I'm like, listen, I'm like, okay, so that Cupid character that you have, what does it look like? Well, it's actually like 4,000 years old. I'm like, no. What? How old does it look? 8. Okay, well there you go. That's the problem.
It looks like a fictional character, actually.
Is it like a gateway drug? And
You're
it's
right.
Like, it's not a drug. It's not actually hurting anyone. I'm like, bro, just admit it's weird, okay? It's weird, and you can.
I can agree with that.
I watch cartel death footage on Reddit.
It is weird.
Okay? It's
Sometimes it can be weird, like those ships in Azure Lane that look like actual kindergartners.
Yeah,
kind of weird.
Yeah, that's weird. They're adorable though.
No,
they're adorable. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think the only time you can really make that claim about the drawings is if someone used like actual image of children as a reference to then draw their like fetish artwork. Right?
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
That's fucking weird.
I also think when it's like people doing like the realistic art style, right? Like if it looks like a real child, but that's the thing with like anime art, right? Like it doesn't look like people, at least in my opinion.
And like even when it crosses that line into being like, hey bro, I think something's fucked up with your art, I still don't think it should be equated to like actual child sexual abuse material.
No, God no. But there's a difference between it's still weird and it's still like I don't know how I would feel about it in general. Like if it was like a super realistic like child or whatever drawing or creation or whatever the like there's still like a very big difference between that and like actual child and stuff. Yeah, it's creepy, but it's still a drawing.
It's creepy. It's still a drawing. I would side-eye that person very fucking hard and be like, I wonder what you got on your PC there, bro.
Yeah.
But
it's a red flag.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Twitter being the cesspool that it is somehow brings anime into this, talking about, well, why is cutie such a big deal when anime has kids being sexualized? Well, first of all, anime is fake. Those like children loli things, those 900-year-old vampires that look like they're 4 years old, the little demons that have existed for 2 millennia, like a 6-year-old, those aren't real people. They are animated fake things. These are actual 11 and 12-year-old girls that are subjected to this hypersexualization in this movie that the director has forced upon them. That's very different. This is real world versus totally made up drawn characters. It's
Very
not even
true.
comparable.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can't separate it.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about like the Eastern audience or the Japanese anime audience. I think that's ingrained in Japanese culture itself. Like,
I hate when people do that because it's so like backhanded, right? When people are like, "Oh, well," I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but I'm saying just in general when people are like, "Oh, well, in the West, right? Like we shouldn't allow loli and stuff, but in Eastern cultures, that's just part of their culture." It's like, bro.
Yeah. And that's the same kind of mentality that gets like all of our video games and our translators and anime to censor all of the when it comes over here. I don't want things censored for Western sensibilities. I don't want things updated for a modern audience.
Yeah.
Leave our shit alone.
Yeah.
Like, just leave it alone. And I remember even as far back as high school, I imported a Japanese PlayStation 2 and I imported some of the Final Fantasy games and the Xenosaga games because they were all edited under the ESRB. They removed some nudity scenes. They removed blood and gore from some of them. They removed entire scenes from them entirely. And it's like, I don't want my video games to be chopped up and censored because you think I can't handle them in their original form. And now that we're even more online than when I was in high school, we have full access to everything. There's zero reason that anything should be moderated to that degree. Like, I can just go and get the Japanese version anytime I want.
Yeah, I think there should definitely be options though, right? Like I think there's literally like this is one thing that Twitter gets like not Twitter as in like woke crowd or whatever, but Twitter like the other side of the fence with it, where people are like, oh no, there shouldn't be like easy modes in games or whatever, or but I feel like just more options is just good, right? Like if you want to hand off like one of these games to a child, right? Like you like the game, you want to share it with a child or share it with somebody who's a bit more sensitive. I think it's good to have like the option to enable those censors. But the problem is them forcing them down your throat.
Well, like what game would benefit from having that option toggle that you would also then be able to give to a child? I mean, someone with like more sensitive sensibilities, sure, like you can toggle off the gore for them. But like you mentioned child specifically, like what?
Well, it doesn't
What
have
game
to
would
be
be
like
okay to give to them?
It doesn't have to literally be children, but like also like people of like certain religious beliefs or whatever. You know, like if you don't want to see certain iconography and stuff, I just think more options is good, right? But
Yeah,
again,
I wouldn't mind if they put a toggle, and that'd be perfectly fine.
yeah, I think for children, you could argue like GTA, right? Children f***ing love GTA, so if they're gonna play it anyways, I think it'd be really good to have an option to disable the nudity and some like the gore and stuff, right? Like they're still gonna be exposed to themes, but if they're gonna
If
get
they're
their
going
hands,
to be exposed to the theme, does it matter if they see the hooker's tits out before they stab her in the neck?
I think there's degrees of badness. I don't know. GTA is like an extreme example. I'm trying to think of something else that like.
I mean, I come from the perspective of like, I was able to play Grand Theft Auto when I was at my mom's house. My mom's not a good example of a parent, but stay with me here. I was able to play Grand Theft Auto at my mom's house, and when she lost custody of my brother and I for illegally selling firearms, my grandparents took both of us in, and we played Grand Theft Auto at my grandparents' house. And when my grandmother saw the level of violence that was happening in Grand Theft Auto, she popped out the disc and broke it in half.
Yeah.
So. It's like, I don't think she would have cared if there was like tits in there. It was just the entire concept of the game.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like options. Like that's my entire point is just I think it's good to have options with these things, right? If people don't want to see tits and stuff, I think they should be able to disable them. Not that developers have to put in these options, and not that these options should be forced upon people, right? Just that there should be these options, or ideally there would be.
I think the best case scenario is the developers just saying, "F off, don't edit our game." Second best option would be, if there really is that much need for a censor, just put in the option. Don't just censor everything so nobody can enjoy the game the way it was meant to be looked at. Put in the option that if someone doesn't want to see, more lewd clothing or nudity or gore, they can just turn it off if they want to.
Schoolgirls, yeah, like Schoolgirls would be a good example, right? Like they could have like a. If you want to do like a modernized version of Skullgirls or whatever, quote unquote, like make it a toggle, right? Just toggle it. Nope, there you go. You hit the toggle, you hit the checkbox at the beginning of the game. There you go. Now the panties are all black or whatever, and there's no armbands or whatever the You know, like you don't need to change the base game.
The only thing I would be worried about in that case would be the developers being like, well, enough people wanted this censorship in the first place. Why don't we just put out the game censored without having the toggle? You know, like it could potentially be a slippery slope, but like I would still, if that was the only option, prefer to have a toggle than just have everything censored wholesale.